What's poppin', Siouxland? Welcome back to sports. It's the battle for Sioux County and Orange City as the Dordt defenders make the trip to battle the Red Raiders of Northwestern as both headline an eventful Saturday in the GPAC. Red Raiders look to down Dordt 3-0. Sioux Center last year, the lowest scoring game in series history. This year, the score even tighter. Red Raiders look to be putting this one to bed early. Their defense shutting down the defender offense. Jordan Carter jumping this pass from Noah Strickfade and taking it all the way back to the house, putting the Red Raiders up 17-0. But Dordt wanted to end the first half on a positive note. Quick 2-minute drill capped off by some trickery landed the defenders in the end zone with Elliott Beal cutting into the deficit. This game went all the way to the end with Dordt taking a 21-20 lead with 13 seconds left in the game, but the home team couldn't answer back. Dordt leaves with the upset victory. The Briarcliff Chargers notched their third win last week, already passing their win total from last season. They got Dakota Wesleyan at home. Already up 5-0 in the first quarter. Special teams making a big play on kickoff, popping the ball out, setting up the offense with great field position. Chargers cashed in on a Brock Saya dime to Jaden Westbrook in the corner of the end zone to make it 11-0. Defense played lights out all game, but they got one more highlight before the half. Diving tip intercepted by Kyle Gibson. Chargers would go on to win this 21-7, moving to 4-1 on the season. Morningside Mustangs are in search of improving its GPAC record to 3-0. They're visiting a Hastings squad aiming to move from the middle of the pack. Broncos up 7-0. Morningside driving. Zach Chevalier airs this one out. Lennox Brown for the nice touchdown. Second score of the season ties the game up. Mustangs trying to pull away in the second quarter. Juven Hudson punches it in. Morningside goes up 20-7. Mustangs holding off Hastings with a 41-31 victory on the road. The Buena Vista Beavers are back at Rollins Stadium, aiming to come out with a homecoming win against Simpson. Beavers trail 3-0 in the first quarter, looking to drum up some offense. Brett Garcia finds Mevin Obergen in the screen pass, and the Beavers running back bounces around, flips the field with a 45-yard reception to put the ball in Storm territory. Beavers still driving to start the second quarter on Simpson's 21-yard line. Garcia with the pass falls into the hands of C.J. Hargender. He takes it 79 yards for the pick six. Storm rain on the Beavers, earning the 41-0 win. The Vikings kick off week 4 against the Steelers way too early this morning across the pond in Dublin, Ireland. This one did not disappoint. An absolutely packed stadium watches both teams look to lock in their third win of the season. Slow start for the Vikings, not cooking until the fourth quarter. Wentz would scramble out of the pocket and hit Xavier Scott in the back of the end zone, finally cutting into that deficit 24-14. Only minutes later, Vikings back from the 5. Wentz rolls out, tosses to Jalen Naylor for another score, but there was just not enough time left in the game to compete and come back. Pittsburgh leaves Dublin with the win 24-21. The Great Lakes Classic made a regular season return as the Lions hosted the Browns. Second quarter, Lions up 10-7. This pass from Flacco jumped by DJ Reed, who takes it all the way back to the red zone, giving the Lions excellent field position to cash in an Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. Later in the fourth, Lions up 20-10. How about this? Khalif Raymond back to return the punt, flying downfield. Ring, ring, it's a house call. 65 yards all the way back to put the Lions up 27-10. Late fourth quarter touchdown would seal the 34-10 victory for Detroit. Now, keeping it going in Vegas, we have the Bears and Raiders. Bears defense coming up huge in this game, picking off Geno Smith not once, not twice, but 3 times. They also recovered a fumble in the first quarter. But down 6 late in the fourth, the Bears drove down the field and capped it off with DeAndre Swift touchdown to put them on the top after a blocked field goal attempt. The Bears would squeak out a win in Sin City, 25-24. Next, in Kansas City, it's the Chiefs and Ravens. Both teams looking to break even with a second win. Down 7-3 in the first, Chiefs linebacker Leo Chenal picks off Lamar Jackson with one hand, give the Chiefs another shot, but settle for another field goal. Chiefs finally took the lead in the second quarter after Mahomes finds Juju Smith-Schuster in the end zone. Chiefs go up 13-7. Now, Kansas City would go on to dominate in this one, winning 37-20. Last but not least, the Cowboys host the Packers for Sunday Night Football. Micah Parsons making his return to Lone Star State. Romeo Doubs hauled in 2 touchdowns to make it a 2-score game early, but it's a lot closer now. Last check, Cowboys were up 30-27 in the fourth quarter. All right, that's enough NFL. It's finally time to reveal the Sports Zone top 5 plays of the week from right here in Siouxland. Just another week in the books for Siouxland sports, so let's kick things off at number 5. Number 5 takes us to Sioux Center Friday night. where Bishop Heelan's Ezra Hibma hucks it downfield. Cameraman losing sight of the ball, but it's hauled in by Grant Whitcomb in double coverage for the big first down. Number 4 takes it over to Witt for some Comet soccer, and like a Comet, goalie Francisco Punte flies towards the top shelf, save this free kick from Northeast. Now on to number 3, it's Briarcliff, and a huge tip drill interception by Kyle Gibson, diving to catch this one deflected into the end zone, ending the Dakota Wesleyan drive. Number 2, some more Friday Night Lights action, this time in the ice cream capital of the world. The huge 95-yard kick return touchdown from Spencer's Aiden Teschen, finally putting the Tigers on the board against Lamar's. And finally, our top play of the week goes to Carly Holmes on the Siouxland Christian volleyball team, laying out to keep this one in play. Braille Hoffman can bump it right over the net for an easy point. Huge play for the Eagles, and that will conclude our top 5 plays of the week. The GPAC released their football players of the week, and 2 are right here in Sioux City. For the offensive player of the week, it was Morningside's Zach Chevalier. Mustang quarterback went 33 for 45, piled up 381 yards through the air, and also had 4 touchdown tosses in Morningside's 41-31 victory over Hastings on Saturday. Chevalier in the offense will reload for Waldorf on October 4th. The defensive player of the week found himself on our Sports Zone top 5 plays of the week. It was Kyle Gibson of Briarcliff. Number 24 recorded 8 tackles with 4 solos, as well as 2 forced fumbles in this diving interception that got him on our top 5 plays. Next up for the Chargers, Dordt on October 4th. Monday Night Football just wrapped up between the Broncos and the Bengals. Broncos hosted the Bengals for Week 4. Cincy without Burrow struggled, to say the least. Denver began taking over late in the first when Bo Nix scrambled out of a collapsing pocket, scampered into the end zone to put the Broncos up 7-3. A few possessions later, they would call on Marvin Mims for a wide receiver sweep, and he would wrap this around walking a tightrope into the end zone. Bengals would stay out of the end zone for the remainder of the game. Broncos win it 28-3. The newest NAIA coaches poll was released. No new names yet, but a few new rankings for the teams that have been holding a rank. Morningside remains at number 4 after beating Hastings 41-31. They host Waldorf on Saturday for homecoming. Now, Dordt jumped up 2 spots to number 13 after beating crosstown rival Northwestern 21-20. They now head to a rising Briarcliff on Saturday. Northwestern dropped from 14-22 after losing to Dordt. The Red Raiders, now 2-2, look to get back on their horse this weekend as they host Hastings for their homecoming. But there are 2 other teams to keep our eyes on, Briarcliff and Mount Marty, both receiving votes to be in the top 25. But the local colleges are not the only ones seeing a new poll. The IHSAA released their rankings for high school football in Iowa, and we have 2 local teams taking a top spot. West Lyon is holding the number 1 spot in Class 1A, while MMCRU holds it down for Class A. Both teams 5-0. You can catch highlights of these teams' next bouts on Friday night during Sports Zone at 10. Also, we just started a Sports Zone Instagram, so make sure you check us out on IG and X for all the latest updates on Siouxland sports, as well as other highlights, polls, and game time check-ins to see where me and the rest of the crew are at.